In this lesson, we'll talk about contextual references. They are also known as reference words and transitional markers, even reference signals. This lesson will show you how to recognize and identify different types of contextual reference, and read and connect the contextual reference to the word that it refers to. Okay, look at this paragraph. You'll see some words, some pronouns that are highlighted in red. So try to understand what they refer to. Let's read it together. A computer, like any other machine, is used because it does certain jobs better and more efficiently than humans. So what does it refer to in this text? It refers to, yes, that's right, a computer. It can receive more information and process, so it can receive more information. So what does it refer to in this case? Again, computer. Receive more information and process it faster than any human. So it can receive more information and process it faster than any human. Do you think it refers to computer again? Not this time. So it refers to information. So as you see, without knowing what they refer to, it's impossible for us to understand the message given in this text. So these words, these highlighted words, these words given in red, are called reference signals or reference. And we have different types of reference. So contextual references are words which substitute for other words to avoid using the same word over and over. They refer back to words that have been used in the text. Also, they may refer forward to ideas that will be stated. So we understand that we have two different types of reference from this statement. So the first one is backward reference. He pointed at his watch and said, "This can buy you 3 times over." So what does this refer to in the sentence? His watch, right? And as you see, this is a backward reference because the reference, as you see here, takes place before the referent. The second type is forward reference. Look at this example. "You won't believe this, but I won the lottery." So what does this refer to in this text? Yes, I won the lottery. And as you see, this is a forward reference because the reference comes after the referent. Being able to recognize and identify contextual references will help you understand the passage you're reading. In short, you can't understand the text well enough without understanding the contextual references. You must pay attention to reference words when they occur in the text that you're reading. You can find the meaning of references by searching the text and using your common sense and knowledge of the text. So we got some important points here. The first one is demonstrative pronouns such as this and these usually refer to the last idea, not just the last noun. For example, the last sentence or the entire last paragraph. Sometimes you may have to stop reading and ask yourself this question. What was the idea? Let me give you an example. Many students rely on their laptops. This means that they can work anywhere. Now, do you think this refers to laptop or laptops? No, it doesn't. It refers to the full idea. The fact that many students rely on their laptops, or relying on their laptops. Another important point is a sentence or paragraph might begin with a word or phrase that acts as a summary of the previous idea. Often the word is a different part of speech. For example, a noun instead of a verb. Look at this example. The design of public buildings has changed. This shift can be seen everywhere, from university libraries to public parks. So, as you can see in this example, a different word is used to refer to the idea given here. And also, we have a different part of speech. Here we had a verb has changed. A noun is used. Shift. Okay. Let's take a look at some examples. As I go through the examples, you also try to guess what these words in red refer to in the text. So these are reference, and I want you to find out what the references are. So as I said previously, pronouns can be very common reference. And in this example, what do you think it refers to? They hop, so it is many more young people hop. It will give them. It refers to education. And them, again, many more young people. So here we got an example of a forward reference. To mark these two features of the university, its intellectual objectives and its inherent class structure, I prefer to blah, 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 blah. So these two features, what are these two features? So they are its intellectual objectives and its inherent class structure. We can also use the third person singular. What are those? He, she, and it, right? Let's take a look at some examples where the pronoun it is used. So the first one, most students adopt the method of taking notes of attempting to make an abstract of the argument while it is in progress. So it refers to the argument here. However, sometimes it refers to full ideas. Look at this one, for example. It is essential to consult a physician before taking any medication. So it is the subject here, right? And what can it refer to? It is actually a pseudo subject, an unreal subject. It's not really functionally the subject. It's just there to complement this sentence. So it refers to consult a physician before taking any medication. So this statement, this sentence can also be paraphrased as consulting a physician before taking any medication is essential. So it refers to this section. Well, we got a similar example here. It is unbelievable that he has left the country. So what does it refer to? What is unbelievable? That he has left the country. So this it here refers to that he has left the country. Okay. So this and that, these and those. These are also common reference. Most students are trying to make an abstract of the argument while it is in progress. This is an extremely difficult task. So we're looking at a task. What is this task? This. What is a difficult task? This. And what does this refer to? To make an abstract of the argument while it is in progress. One or once. Which courses should I register for? I don't want to take the ones given late in the evening. So we can use once to refer to nouns. In this case, it is courses. One should never change for someone else. Now, this one is a little bit different from the others that we have studied. It's not a backward reference. It's not a forward reference. It's an outside reference. In other words, it's a universal reference. So what do you think one refers to in this example? One should never change for someone else. So we don't have it in this sentence, right? It basically means a person. So a person should never change for someone else. Such plus noun is another important reference. Children's language may vary in complexity and size of vocabulary. Such variations, however, are of minor importance. So what does such mean in this context? In complexity and size of vocabulary. So such means as a word of the same kind as the thing or person which has already been mentioned. So in this case, such means variations that are similar to in complexity and size of vocabulary. Okay? So is another reference. Look at this example. The politician is worried about the present economic situation. he thinks the rate of inflation will rise. I think so too. So refers to the fact that the rate of inflation will rise. So what does so mean? It is used to refer back to an idea, action, quality, situation that has just been mentioned. So it means I think this way, I think in the same manner too. And what's that same way, same manner? It is mentioned previously in the text. The rate of inflation will rise. So he thinks the rate of inflation will rise. The former and the latter. These are again very commonly used in writing and especially academic writing. So they also help you to organize a text, especially when you have to list two or more things. Okay? Well, not two or more things, two things to be specific. Now let's take a look at the examples. Industrious, useful human beings may be divided into two classes. People for whom work is work and pleasure is pleasure, and people for whom work and pleasure are one. So we have listed two types of people here. The first type is people for whom work is work and pleasure is pleasure. So they take them separately. What is the second one? And people for whom work and pleasure are one. So these people see work and pleasure in the same category, right? The former are the majority. So when we use the referent the former, we refer to the first of the things that we have just mentioned. Remember, we mentioned two different group of people here, people for whom work is work and pleasure is pleasure, and people for whom work and pleasure are one. So when we use former, we refer to the first of those two things. In which case, in this case, it is people for whom work is work and pleasure is pleasure. Okay, look at the second one. Political authority and education are common sources of social status. The latter, however, is usually easier to achieve. So, what two things have been mentioned here? Political authority and education, right? So, which one is used first? Political authority. Which one is used secondly? It's education. When we use the referent, the letter, we refer to the second one that is mentioned. In this case, it is education. Okay, there and then. Look at this example. Herzog returned from the ascent of Annapurna a changed man. The experiences he underwent there have destroyed him. There refers to a location. And what's that location? In this case, the ascent of Annapurna. And then can refer to a time period. It is at the age of 6 to 9 months that the struggle between trusting and mistrusting the world comes to a climax. For it is then that children first perceive clearly that blah 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 blah. So then refers to 6 to 9 months. Relative pronouns can also be reference. So look at this. I have a friend who lives in Germany. So it's easy, isn't it? Who refers to a friend. And look at this one. He keeps arguing with his colleagues, which is an unacceptable action in a workplace. In this case, it's a little bit more complex, which refers to a full idea here. So it refers to he keeps arguing with his colleagues, which is an unacceptable action. What is an unacceptable action? Is it the colleagues? No. Is it arguing with his colleagues? Maybe, but the best statement is the fact that he keeps arguing with his colleagues.